Hello there, podcast listeners, YouTube watchers, friends and family of the Sales Academy crew. So I just wanted to share with you a thought that has really resonated with me in both life and business, which is deselection is selection. Deselection is selection. It's a huge kind of part of business that I've followed, if you like, in terms of employed business when I've been employed by other people's businesses, but also running my own businesses. I teach and I train this. So from a marketing point of view, deselection is selection, but also from a team point of view, And for those of you watching YouTube, you will see my beloved Derby County on my shirt. And just watching some of the players that have been moving in and out of that club over the last few weeks. Some brilliant, talented individuals that kind of grew and developed through our youth. We got into the first team and started to really give us speed and pace and width. And, it gives you inspiration and aspirations within your football club of what you could achieve as a fan and what your club this year could. And then you see them go for several million. And albeit that's brilliant for the club because it helps you reinvest back into the club. And these young talents are being scouted by bigger clubs and stuff, and they're going on. And it's good for their careers because they're going to. It's also sad because you lose some of the people that you've kind of fallen in love with and you love the way they play and how they change the game for you and stuff like that. And that's the kind of roller coaster of leadership and management right there as well, So deselection is selection. How do we get the right people on the team? Deselection is selection from a marketing point of view. How do we attract the right kind of customers as well as repelling the wrong kind of customers? So let's just explore this for a little while on this podcast. So, deselection is selection. I'm very open in terms of how I speak, how I express, and I swear like a fishwife. I don't hold back at times, and in sessions, whether it be like public group sessions and coach sessions and stuff, and a public speaker for many years, a trainer and facilitator of a room full of people. You get challenging characters in the room. You have questions that are challenging in themselves. You have to be able to deal with it and stuff. And I found that when I was running a lot of events that were almost lead generation events, you get people that would come to the opening of an envelope. And then you get people that are, especially because we're a training and coaching organization, you get people that egotistically want to develop, but they don't necessarily really truly buy into their own development. So in that sense, you get what I call the kind of fake plastic trees, to quote a Radiohead song, the fake plastic trees. And with the greatest respect, it's not a case of I can't help them. Kind of no one can help them until they're really genuinely prepared to develop for the right reasons, in my personal view. So I've always said everyone's coachable, not everyone's ready to be coached. Everyone's trainable, not everyone's ready to be trained. So you have to want it, So if you look at leadership and management, I teach a lot around will, skill, and ability and stuff. And we as business owners, as leaders in business and stuff, we can develop the skill and the ability of the individual through training, through modules, through coaching, development, through experience in the role and stuff. But they have to bring the will to the table. And if they don't bring the will to the table, there's very little anyone can do with them or for them, right? So that's the same with team selection. So in terms of recruitment, when I'm selecting a team or looking at helping a company select a team and stuff, I really help them figure out what is it they don't want to get some clarity and to get clear on what they do want. Because a lot of us aren't aware. We don't know what we want. But with a little bit of poking around, I pretty much guarantee you absolutely know what you don't want. So that can see, behaviors of individuals. We want people to go the extra mile. We don't want yes people. We want them to challenge and all that sort of stuff. We want people that can develop and then when you bring them into your company, a lot of companies then focus on just making them into robots so they just perform and do their job. And so deselection is selection. When I actively market my business, I actively market it in a way that this is me, this is who I am. Same as I am in leadership, same as I am in business, same as I am in life. I am me. Take me or leave me, because I'm 45 years of age and I've always got stuff to learn, but deep down my values are kind of set and they're fixed. And yeah, my beliefs shift and change and stuff, but I am who I am. So some people will like me and some people won't, and I'm okay with that. So when I learned and really truly got to grips with that, what I stopped doing was trying to attract everybody, because that's the thing with us trainers and coaches. We want to save the world, We want everyone to benefit. Like therapists, we go through therapy, it changes our lives. We want to learn that therapy so we can go and change the world and fix the world and stuff. So understanding that I'm not going to be liked by everybody, understanding that not everyone's going to like the content, like the speed, like the pace, like the swearing, like the me, like the whatever, but also understanding that I don't want to work with all of them either. And that's also okay. You know, so I have another kind of rooted belief in here, which is I want your business. I don't need your business. And what I mean by that is I want to work with you if you're that kind of business, if you're that meaty business that really wants to develop. And by meaty, I don't mean you have to be multi-million, whatever. I just mean, are you genuinely interested in growing? And if you are, then I'm there and you got me 100%. Because that's a challenge for me. That excites me. That switches the lights on. So I want to work with you, but I don't need to work with you. And what I mean by that is I won't be sleeping in a doorway if I don't bring you on board as a client, if we choose not to work together. If you explore a little bit of time with us and find out that we're not for you, or we explore a little bit of time with you and find out that you're not for us, that's okay, both ways. There's a brilliant book on this called I'm Okay, You're Okay. Book on transactional analysis. It's not about I'm okay, you're not okay, or you're okay and I'm not okay, or neither of us are okay. It's about I'm okay and you're okay. How do we reach that harmonious middle ground? So I need to be clear on what I don't want, and I teach people to get clear on what they don't want so they can deselect better. And as they have a massive funnel, so let's just say you put a job up there and you put a job advert up for £40,000 for an ops manager and you get loads of people apply. How do you go through that process? Well, it starts with deselection and it continues with deselection right the way through. So, you know, you can do simple things on your application requests, like send your application in a red envelope. And if they don't send it in a red envelope, they can't read instructions. So is that what you want from somebody in your business? Somebody that can't follow a simple instruction, or attention to detail is so low. So these are little things you can do to just speed up the process, if you like. I don't know. These are just ideas that I'm sharing with you. But that's a deselection tool. Then, you know, put a answer machine on your phone and say, look, put a phone number on the advert, say, thanks for calling, please answer these 3 questions and one of our team will be in touch. Ask 3 questions on the answer machine and then listen to the responses. You'll be amazed. Some people will go and panic and hang up. Some people will stutter and stammer and then forget one of the answers to one of the questions, or what one of the questions was in the first place. And other people, you'll hear them phone up 4 or 5 times, and then they'll phone up and then they'll succinctly give you answers to each one because they phoned up a couple of times and written the questions down and planned and prepared. And hey, maybe that's the kind of person I want on my team. But even that, put an answer machine on your phone line that they get into phone from the advert, cuts down a lot of the time in the recruitment process. But it's a deselection process. So by deselecting, you end up with a better, more qualified selection. So the same with my marketing. Somebody said to me recently on LinkedIn, oh, I don't know about professionalism. You could talk about professionalism in your video, Adam, but how professional do you think it is that you said fuck on your video on LinkedIn? Hashtag not convinced, which I replied with hashtag don't give a fuck. It's my LinkedIn, it's my profile. If you don't like it, kind of bugger off. And I mean that with the greatest sense. You're going to miss out on some good content, yeah, but we're not right for each other. You were never going to be a client of mine. It's like my mum. My mum says to me, Ad, I don't like the fact that you swear sometimes. I'm like, Mum, you're not my target market. I love you as my mum, but you are not my target market. This is me. This is how I do business. So I'm not going to pretend to be somebody I'm not so that I can win you as a business. And then in 6 months' time, or over those first 6 months, you start figuring out who I am and more. I don't really like that person. He swears a bit and stuff. Or he this, that, and the other. And he says it quite harsh. His coaching can be quite challenging at times. Yeah, it is. Because the reason why you need a coach is because you want to get past the point that you would normally stop. Look, coaching is simple, right? It's listening intently. It's listening actively. It's asking questions, and it's helping you move past the point that you would normally stop. That's it. That's coaching in a nutshell. You don't need to go to a frigging university and get a degree on coaching. You just need to be a good human and learn some basic skills. So deselection is selection. So my question to each of you is, how are you selecting or deselecting your customers? How are you selecting or deselecting your team? What process are you using? You know, how are you deselecting or selecting your career? If somebody's listening or watching this and you're in somebody else's business wanting to develop your career, how are you selecting, deselecting where you go next? I remember workshops I used to do in the job centers to get people motivated about getting the head back ready for work and stuff. And a lot of them would come in with this mindset of, you've got to find me a job. And then they'd leave with a bit of, shit, I need to take ownership of my life kind of scenario, which was, you know, I'd ask them questions like, do you want to work days or nights? I'd choose an individual in the room as a volunteer. I'd say, look, just answer me some really simple questions. Do you want to work days or nights? And they go, days. Okay, cool. Do you want to work on your own or part of a team? Part of a team. Cool. So you want to work days, you want to work, you want to work nights, you want to work part of a team, and do you want to work indoors or outdoors? You're like, outdoors, right. So you want to work outdoors on your own, night shifts. Then security work, you know, door work, static security, all that sort of stuff, great. Stop applying for jobs in T-Mobile's call center in Merthyr Tydfil. It's not going to be right for you. You're going to have a meltdown. You're going to have a Michael Douglas falling down moment probably within the first 3 months of being there. So give yourself the best opportunity to succeed by kind of doing a bit of planning and prep in the first place to understand what your compromises are and what your accommodations are. What will you accommodate, but what will you not compromise on? Start to figure out what you need to deselect from your life so that you can select the better things that you want. That's in life and business. So deselection is selection. Speak soon, guys.